All right, folks, let's set some expectations real. Now, this whole year 2 content stuff, there's a lot of information. If you watched my last video, this is kind of a continuation on some of those topics because I feel like it's very important that we talk about it. I remember making a video that said something about the hype in Division 1 and how I felt like, Division 2, how I felt like a lot of agents are going to be able to, kind of withstand a lot of the things that actually happen with the game. And, now is the time for everybody to be able to, evaluate and pay attention to what's going on. A lot of the stuff that's coming in New York is quite exciting, but you also have to understand that the game is going to look like New York, but it's going to have the Division 2 feel. It's not going to have the snow just yet. I personally believe that the snow is going to come back down the road. The lore currently does not allow for you to have snow. So where they are in lore, you can't have snow just yet. That's fine. The snow is very beautiful. It's very interesting. In fact, the name of the engine is called the Snow Engine, the Snowdrop Engine. So it knows how to make good looking, beautiful snow. But then with all of this, you have to ask yourself, if you look at this season pass, what do you expect to benefit from this? What do you expect you're going to gain? Because I felt like a lot of the season 1, contention was because a lot of us, we paid for that season pass not knowing what was necessarily going to be in it. We knew some of the stuff that was going to be in it, but there was a lot of marketing back and forth. There was first going to be some extra stash space, then that was taken away. And so many people were left asking, why did I pay for the season pass in the first place? Now, you pay for the season pass, there's access to specializations, early access to the specializations that were released in episode 1, 2, and 3. There were some things that they were classified assignments. Those classified assignments are actually pretty okay. They're not the best in terms of what I'll call missions and all that stuff. And I guess that's it. And so that's what we got in terms of that. That was not any value for money for paying for an extra DLC. But now we have this new, content on the horizon, and a lot of people are asking, how much is it? What's going on? And so we need to look at this now, and somebody has to make the anti-hype video so that when things start to, get weird down the road, which it always will, that's a human nature. All this hype right now, people are excited. Watch the same people turn around and then start spitting on this game. It happens all the time. Okay, so let's talk about this right now. Now, the game currently is very cheap. If you want a physical copy, GameStop, I made this in my video yesterday or so, you can pay $5 for it for a brand new copy, physical copy. There they are. I have my 2 physical copies right here, PS4, Xbox One. Let me show you so I'm not making stuff up. If you want to buy a digital copy right now on PlayStation, it's $2.99. I also heard on Xbox is like $3 or as well the same price. So the entry fee is very little. So even if you may not want to go episode 2, if you've never played a Division 2, pick it up. It's a very small fee. You get the game, you hang on to it. Now, for those of us who already bought the game, many of us, we're in a place where it's like, we'll be happy to pay for DLC if DLC will have these criteria. So go ask yourself, does the DLC meet the criteria for me to pay for it? That is your personal preference and your personal choice. For many people, they've said this DLC it still doesn't meet what I want, so I'm not going to pay for it. And it's your prerogative. It's your money. You put your money where it is that you want to put your money. And then for those of us who are like, yep, we want to pay for year 2, we ask ourselves, does it meet the standards and the requirements that we want, so that we know exactly what we're putting our money into and we know what exactly we're about to sink our time into? Because the hype can get people carried away. There are a lot of people who would like, oh, I already bought I don't know if it's already somewhere for sale, but I saw a comment saying I already bought it. I'm like, I haven't even seen it listed for sale. It's probably listed for sale somewhere, but it's really interesting that somebody is already like, oh, I already got it. That kind of person is the person who knows exactly what they want in most cases. So make sure you know exactly where you're going. Don't let the hype just carry you along like a wave. I can understand, this sounds like a weird message from somebody who would love for you to be playing the content so that you can watch my videos. But at the same time, it's these kinds of comments that eventually crop up later, and people now, seem like they didn't necessarily know what they wanted. On this channel, you're going to get the great news. Maybe sometimes I'll put out some, critique or some critical pieces. That's usually how I am. I usually get feedback because I can be very critical. As much as I can be optimistic, when I get in the mood, man, you don't want to be in the zone. And so I'll get those comments, and honestly, we don't want to deal with that. We're adults here. We know where we want to go, we know where we want to spend our money, and we know what we want to do with it. Now, looking forward, what do you think as a community, or what do you think as a division agent is going to be coming down the road? Do you think this game is going to continue to expand? I think it will. It has to. It's its only competitive way to do it. It needs to continue to expand. It needs to continue to allow for progression in a much more fluid way, where they're not just giving free content and doing all that stuff. Another thing too, and I have to mention this, the raid. The raid is free content for everyone at the Foundry. Now, what that means is there is not going to be, in my opinion, any matchmaking. As much as I am not a fan of that, you have to know this. So what do you need to start doing? Join clans, join groups, go start looking for people, look for your friends, buy copies for friends and relatives if you have to, and bring people, with you so that you can play content together at a whim. That's another thing. I think the problem with the raid now, I don't know if they'll put matchmaking, but I think they should, but we can argue that later on. But to get yourself in a position where you're not just saying, well, this year 2 content's a little dissatisfactory, you still will need that, because even with all the patch stuff that's coming, there are going to be heroics for all of these different factions. They're actually going to be adding legendary. The legendary is supposed to be very challenging. They're upping the AI. They're getting the AI to a whole different level. And that kind of content is going to take a special team and a special unit of people who have the time to kind of wade their way through and figure it out for them to be able to play it. So if you want to engage in that content, which is supposed to give you some of the best gear in the game, then you definitely have to find teams of people that are actually there. My clan dads of the division, I have not touched it for a long time, because at the onset of the game, everybody said, are you going to start a clan? I said, guys, I'm not going to have time for a clan, but I started one anyways. And thankfully, we have a lot of people in the clan that have kept the clan alive, but largely I'm like the worst clan owner in the world because I already knew that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back after episode 3 is released. I'll go and do a check and a roster check, and if I see that there's somebody who hasn't been active for 90 days or 60 days, I'm gonna delete you. So if you're in that clan and you've not logged in, you better dust that game and get on there if you want to stay on the clan. It's just for people who want a clan to be able to join. You'll probably not see me online frequently, or if you see me online, I'm in Discord hanging out with the people that are playing on Discord, or I'm just all over the place. I mean, that's just how I am. I'm just all over the place. So these are some of the things I feel like you can do to prepare yourself for the so-called year 2, TU8 or TU9 or whatever title update that's going to be, in order to get yourself in the best possible place. There's a financial preparation, a place where you know what you're getting into, and there's also the preparation of getting yourself into groups that are able to accomplish this content when it comes time to it. And I know many of you may say, well, you're a YouTuber, it's easier for you. Trust me, I don't always play with my friends. I actually go play just anywhere I can find players to play, because my schedule is so weird. There are days I have days off out of, my calendar is different from the regular work schedule because of the nature of my job. So usually when I have a day off, all my guys are in work grinding, and then I have to go to work the next day while they're actually maybe, back in the evening, and I have to go to bed early. So as much as I can get friends or people that will play with me, I'll take them all, because you just never know. So that's pretty much my video. I just wanted to make this video out there and say, let's put it on record that somebody told you not to jump in on the hype train if you are not sure. Until you're certain, then come along. We'll all be heading back to, NYC, and we'll all be playing the division together. So appreciate you, Agent, so much for watching the video. Thank you for your time and audience, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.